that happens to white people more than black people because there's allegedly more of them. But it's like, and the lesson from this, I think, is kind of like how we were talking about months before, the whole peer review
Yeah.
thing, where you know it's not saying that these studies are useless, but the thing is knowing how they got to the numbers. And a good uh study usually will have available the participants, how they gathered the data, and some of the parameters they used.
Hmm.
And if you are not able to do that, if you don't know how studies are conducted, how they're funded, because usually it takes money to do a study, especially if you're going to get from people. Sometimes you can take data from police reports. Even that can be skewed.
Yep.
You can have data from the crime rates. Whoever's in office, you know, in that city or jurisdiction may want crime rates to look lower. So they may even skew the data. There's
Yep.
a lot of things that can factor into it. But the point is, if you are a person who doesn't know the first thing about how studies are conducted and the parameters and those things, then you probably shouldn't pay that much attention to what a study says, because you could easily be misled.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you have to be careful. Usually, if someone is quoting a study, you probably should make sure that this person is non-biased. If they are biased, what is their bias? Are they a red pill person trying to push a certain narrative about women or men? Then they're definitely going to have found a study that works in their favor, and vice versa. You can look at any other type of person. What are they? Who do they support? What's their angle? And then that study is going to then feed into that.
Yeah.
So you don't want to be a sheep and just say, "Wow, look at those numbers," and run with it.
Yeah.
You have to be careful. If you can't read a study, and if you don't know how studies are conducted, then you're probably one of the people who gets taken advantage of by these studies sometimes.
And the best way to do it is to look at multiple studies. It's kind of like how we do in Islam, where we look at an opinion, then we'll look at the opposing opinion, then you compare the evidence. And the best way to kind of is you look at what they're called meta-analysis. That's where they take all the studies on a specific topic and kind of like basically try to combine all the findings and make sense of it. So if you have 100 studies on something, ones that, because I'm pretty sure you'll have studies out there that there's a study out there that says, oh, black people commit more violent crimes than whatever. There's going to be somebody that will make a opposing study to try to disprove that. And you see what their findings are. Then they'll go back and forth, and there'll be a bunch of studies. If something's well researched. If something's not well researched and you have a study that like one or two studies on this particular topic, you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt and just be like, okay, well, this study says this, and if this is true, then we can make these determinations. But to run with it, like you said, these people like Charlie Kirk and all these people that go out and debate college kids, you get grown adults going out debating college kids. They're pre-prepared with all their talking points and all their data and ready to go, and you're just taking kids off the street and trying to debate with them to get clips and make them look stupid. I mean, it's silly. So just use your common sense. And for a white lady to put that up, I'm not saying the statistics are racist, but for you to have the energy, like I need to post this on social media, I'm going to say that you are a racist. Very clear.
Yes, he's either very racist or desperate for views. Probably a little bit of both.
Yeah, exactly.